Hey everyone, I'm going to teach you how to do the Big Seven, or how I teach the students to do division in fourth grade. So we have 134 divided by 5. 134 is our dividend, 5 is our divisor. I set it up pretty much the way that most of us are used to learning long division many years ago. The only difference is I added this long giant line here on the right hand side. So essentially, what it makes here is a Big Seven. The other thing I added here is a bag of tricks. I put numbers in there that are easy for the students to multiply by. So, like 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. I only let the students use those numbers when they're dividing. It's a lot easier for them to be able to multiply because they're going to need to multiply to divide. And it'll make sense in a minute when I start showing you what I'm talking about. But these numbers, by using these numbers, it just makes it easier for them, less mistakes. And this box, this bag of tricks, as I call it, holds them more accountable. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our dividend, which is 134. Then we're going to look at our divisor, which is 5. And when you think about division, what you're doing is you're taking fives away from your dividend here, 134. Like, that's what division is. So it's how many fives can I take away from this 134. Now, yeah, you could just keep doing 5 after 5 after 5, and obviously that would take you a good amount of time. But an easier way for you to do it is you go into this bag of tricks right here and you look for a number that you can multiply by your divisor, in this case 5, that you can multiply by your divisor that gets you close to your dividend. So it gets you close to this 134 without going over it. For every student, this is different. Some students can multiply with bigger numbers, and it's sometimes they can jump out right away with the biggest possible number. Other students need to work out with the smaller numbers like 2 and 5, which is fine. It's whatever works for you. So instead of doing these single fives at a time, we're just going to start taking them away by groups, and that's what we're using the bag of tricks for. So I'm going to look at the 5, look at my bag of tricks, see the biggest number that I can multiply by 5. That gets me close to 134. In this case, I see 25 because I know 5 times 25 is 125. So what you're going to do is you're going to write that number that you took out of the bag of tricks right here to the right of this line. And the way I explain it to the students in class is only your bag of tricks numbers are going here on the right hand side. Nothing, there's no other numbers that go on this right hand side except for the bag of tricks. So you do 5 times 25. We know it's 125. So we are going to make a subtraction sign right here. We're going to do 125. The reason why we're doing can't do 4 minus 5. So we're going to cross out the 3. Regrouping here. We're going to make it a 2. We're going to regroup that 10 over here. Make it a 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. And 1 minus 1 is 0. The next thing you want to do is we're going to go back to the bag of tricks again. Because as I explained to the kids in class, we are always working with our dividend here. So our new dividend in this case is 9 now. And when we're working with our dividend, we keep going until our dividend becomes a smaller number than our divisor. So 9 is still bigger than 5. So we got to go back to the bag of tricks. Well, what's the biggest number that I can multiply by 5 that gets me close to 9? Let's try 2. We can't do that because 5 times 2 is 10. So it must be 1 then. So we're going to go ahead and put 1 right here. 5 times 1 is 5. I'll go ahead and put the 5 under the 9 here. I'll make my subtraction sign. And 9 minus 5 is 4. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is when you're putting your bag of tricks numbers to the right-hand side of your Big Seven, you want to line them up with your dividend. So notice how I started the 5 lined up with the initial 134, or the 25 lined up with the 134. And then when I did the 1, I lined it up with the 9. So 5 times 1 is 5. We subtracted 9 minus 5 is 4. And as I said, is the 4 smaller now than our divisor, which it is. So that means we are done taking out of the bag of tricks, but we're not done with the equation yet. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to look over here at all your numbers that you've written to the side of the big 7. I like to draw a rectangle around it. And we're going to add them up. 25 plus 1 is 26. Okay. And in this case, because that number did not become a 0 down here, this 4, which was less than 5, that will be our remainder. So our answer is 26, remainder 4. So 134 divided by 5 is 100, or 134 divided by 5 is 26, remainder 4. Sorry, I was trying to talk and do math and also draw squiggly lines here. So I hope that helps. Any questions, obviously reach out.